Hi everybody, Angie here, coming on with day 18 of Defemorember Ephemera Makes, hosted here on YouTube by Barbara and Louise Heinzel. We are on day 18. We're going to get right into this. Should be a pretty quick and easy one. I got a little stumped on this one for a second. I really had to think on this one, but I got a quick little project for you guys. The prompts are handmade stencil and then a notepad. Okay, so we're going to get into this. How is everybody today? I sure hope everybody's doing good. We're counting down the days to Christmas. It's getting closer, and I'm not ready. Okay, handmade stencil and a notepad. I have all these little cut-off scraps that I save when I make notepads. And I do slender little notepads just to have for around the house, different things, score pads when we're playing cards, grocery lists, different things like that. So I always have these little cut-offs, and I thought this would be the first great project to use these for you guys to see. So I wanted to use up these little ones. I like using up the little ones as often as I can. But this handmade stencil that I have in mind is too large for this. So I am going to have to go with the bigger ones. Okay. So I'll clip these back, and I don't know how much of these I'm going to use, how much there is, so we'll see. And then I also have scraps left over from previous days. I used this, and then I had a piece of file folder scrap. I'm going to use that for my base for my notepad. Okay, it's going to be really quick and easy. And then for my handmade stencil, I have my word punch board. So I'm going to use that, and I'll pull that out in just a moment. I just need to determine the size that I want my notepad to be. Let's see how many pieces of paper I have here. I have nine pieces of paper. So if I use the whole thing, that would give me 18. I think that would be too many. I think 9 will be fine. We'll just go with that. And then I need to determine how big I want it to be. And this is about 3.5. I guess that's good size. So let me bring my cutting board up. And this is going to be the base for it, so 3.5. So I need to cut this down to about 3 3/4. I think that's a straight edge there. Maybe not. Use this side. So 3 3/4 by, I don't know, say 5.5. So let's do 6 inches. It's not going to be that big, but okay. Then I'm going to need my scoreboard. That's down here also. Okay, let's see. Actually, we can use this cutoff for my stencil that I have to make. Okay, so notepad, let's make the notepad. I think 5 inches is plenty. 5-inch tablet. 5 by 3.5. I just need one score mark right there. And this is going to wrap around. Oh, I need to bring my cutter up one more time. So I said 5. Okay, so let me cut these to 5 inches. I think I get them all cut in one pass. Sometimes they'll slide on you. So we gotta go a little bit less than 5 then, right? Okay, go 4 7/8. Okay, then I've got these for another tablet in the future. Okay, so this is going to be pretty cut and dry. I'm going to put this right here, center that. Yeah, I think that's good right there. But we need to kind of put a little something on the base, and that's where my scrap from previous day comes in, and I love this pattern. So I'm just going to put this down. Oops. I don't know how you guys tear such a thin piece off so easily. I always struggle with that. It always slips on me. Okay. Let's see. So I'm gonna cut it right there. And just use the base as a template for the size. Turn this down just like that. And that's not going to show, that's going to, so it doesn't need to be perfectly straight. Okay, now let's put this down. And we'll do some inking. I got it straight. Ta-da! Good job. Good job, Angie. Okay, I think I'm going to ink it in green because I'm going to do the stenciling portion in green. So let's bring in some pine needle green. Oh, isn't that nice and rich? So pretty. So fun using a different color, something deep and bright and bold, other than vintage photo all the time. When you, I mean, we get in such a habit of using vintage photo, but then when we bring in another color, it's just like boom, and I love it. In your face, you know. Okay, so this is going to flip over this way. And I'm just thinking. I want to use a piece of this pretty lace fabric here. It's from a leftover old valance that I had. And I just want to use a piece of it right over the top here. And I better use art glitter glue for that. I'm just going to glue it down and then I'll trim it off because I want it to kind of hang over the edges and be just kind of there. Grab a tissue here. Okay, then I'll trim that off. And I'm not going to do it exactly straight on the overflap piece there. I want it to kind of dangle. So I'm just going to do a little rough cut there. Okay. Isn't that pretty? Okay, now this one. Here's where our notepad comes in. Now I'm just trying to think how I want to close this. Try and get that centered as best I can. It's pretty good right there. Isn't that cute? I'm thinking. I'm gonna just do a couple staples. I probably should have did that first, kind of hide them. Okay, we're gonna go this way. And I'm just gonna do 2 staples. Okay, and then we're gonna hopefully cover that up a little bit. We'll see how it ends up with what I have in mind. Okay, now the stencil comes into play. Okay, now for that, I'm gonna use this, and I'm gonna bring out my punch board. Okay, I'm just gonna make a little noise for a moment. Okay, and I am going to gather my letters. This is by We Are Memory Keepers. If you guys aren't familiar with this little gadget here, it's a nice handy piece to do words and fun things in your projects. Let's see. And you find your letters, you just set them down in the grooves, these little grooves here, make your word. And I'm going to spell out my name. And then there's the little grooves right here. If you can see that right there, you line up your paper along that edge. And it kind of holds it in place. And then you use this press and give it a quick and easy punch. And then when there's letters, multiple of the same letter that you need, you put it in, move one, put it in the position, and punch again. And I don't have to leave all those letters if I don't want to. But we'll just, and there you go. And I've got my name punched out. Okay, so let me move all these punches out of the way. Sorry about the noise. Try and make it quick. Okay. Then what I thought I would do is, now I'm going to use this as my stencil, but now I need another piece. So what we got to do for that, let's trim this down. Let me see if this is big enough. Because what I thought I would do is put another piece over the top here. And that will work. Let me do some tick marks to trim that down. There. This edge isn't straight, so we need to straighten that up. And if I measured that correctly, Pardon me. Got a little bit of a mess going here. Okay, this is going to sit over the top here. Okay, that works. But we need to ink that as well. And I'm hoping that this will work. So I'm going to position this right in here, and I'm going to stencil my name. I couldn't think of anything else to do. This stencil really had me stumped for like the last 6 hours. I was like, what do I want to do? I mean, I have a lot of die cuts. I have a lot of things. I could hand draw something, hand cut something out. But I just, you know, I said, you know what? I'm going to do my name. And I'm hoping I'm getting a good impression. Hoping I'm holding it still enough to get a good impression. 'Cause I'm afraid once I lift it, I'm not going to be able to get it where I want it again. Ah, not too bad. Not too bad at all. Got a lot on my fingers, but that's okay. Now, I thought I would put that right there. But that looks like kind of plain too. What if I put a little piece of this paper underneath? Kind of tie it in with the underpiece. Let's see if I can get a straight tear there. Oh, sliding on me already. Just for a little pop of something underneath. We've already got the texture with the trim. Okay, let's glue that down. And I'm going to bring in some vintage photo for this one. I don't want green on top of green. And I want to get rid of those white edges. Okay. And glue. And down we go. I'll be a little heavy on the glue here because it's going to stick to that trim. Make sure it adheres well. And try to line that up as best I can. And down we go. I'm going to clean up my little mess here. Might take away from the visualization for you guys. Okay, there we go. I like it. I mean, it's simple, but I really like it. I feel like I want a little extra just because my name's on there. Trying to think of what I could put. I know I have some bling here. I've got some. That looks nice against with that trim, doesn't it? Let's do that. I have some rhinestones also, but I think these will play better with the vintage feel. I'm just trying to snip off those little pieces of string that connects the strips. This is just a leftover strip that I had. And depending on how you cut it, you always have these little strands of string. Try and cut some of those away. Okay, good enough. Now let's put those down right. Along the bottom. Okay, I'm just looking at it, trying to think if there's anything else I want to add, but depending on how it's used in your journal, you can slide it into a pocket, a tuck spot, or clip it in. I don't want to make it too bulky. I think it's in a good place now to where I can tuck it into any journal anywhere, because it's not too bulky. But it's delicate, it's feminine. You can see it. It's got a good amount of paper. It's got some color, it's got some texture, good size, and you can just tear them off as needed. Yes, I like it. Not too shabby. What do you guys think? Okay, well that's what I came up with on this prompt challenge, guys. Okay, where is my list? Quick and easy. Just layered some papers. I used a little piece of trim, some flat back pearls. My handmade stencil was making my name, and I just made a base for my tablet using some leftover scraps that I had from previous days. I think the colors complement each other very well, and I ended up with a 3.5 by little over 5 inch 3.5 by 5 inch notepad. Okay, so I like it. All right, guys, that's my make for today. Thank you so very much for spending some time with me. I appreciate each and every one of you. I would love it if you would hit that subscribe button, leave me a like and a comment. Feel free to share and use the hashtag #Defemorember just to show your support and see what everybody else is making during these daily challenges from December 1st all the way through to the 25th. Okay, so I will see you tomorrow, which we will be making fabric and page tab. All right, guys, thank you. Take care and God bless. Bye-bye.